There are motorcycle mirrors so useless that they only serve to admire your own elbows while traffic passes you. It's the classic joke of every rider. That's why today we reveal 10 modifications that manufacturers omit to save costs, but that will transform your riding forever. Stick around for number 1, because it's the electrical trick that will prevent your bike from dying at the most inopportune moment. Let's start. Mod number 10. Auxiliary fuse box. The electrical organizer that saves your sanity. You've seen that guy who has 5 accessories connected directly to the battery with stripped wires and electrical tape, like a mad scientist with a tin addiction. It's a disaster. Loose wires, shoddy connections, and more chances of failure than a homemade fireworks castle. That's where an auxiliary fuse box comes in. And I honestly don't understand why every rider who adds accessories doesn't use one. A fuse box is a clean and centralized way to connect all your extras. Heated grips, phone chargers, GPS, extra lights, whatever. Instead of splicing into the ignition wire like a beginner, you run a single power cable from the battery to the fuse box and then connect everything else through its individual fuse terminals. If one device fails, do the others keep working, and you don't have to go searching for which melted wire is messing with the battery. Mod number 9. Brake light modulator. The one that makes cars actually see you. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most drivers aren't paying attention to motorcycles, especially at red lights. They're looking at their phones, zoned out with the radio, or arguing with kids in the back seat. And you're just a tiny dot in their blurry world of distractions. That's where a brake light modulator comes in, and I assure you this little device can save your life. What it does is very simple. When you hit the brake, instead of the normal brake light coming on as always, it flashes rapidly for a couple of seconds. That flashing snaps drivers out of their trance and grabs their attention much faster. Studies show it drastically reduces rear-end collisions on bikes, and in most places it's legal, as long as it only flashes for a few seconds before staying solid. I'm not talking about putting a disco light on your tail light. A decent modulator is plug and play for most bikes. You just connect it to the brake light wiring and you have instant visibility. Some even let you adjust the flash pattern if you want something subtle or a bit more aggressive. It's one of those safety modifications that does its job silently, but you never go back once you have it, especially at night or in bad weather when your visibility is already poor. Mod number 8. Bar end turn signals, visibility where it matters most. Most people think of turn signals as those ugly plastic things sticking out of the fairings or the rear fender like a last-minute afterthought. They're basic, they work, and they break as soon as the bike tips over in the driveway. But there's a better, cleaner, and honestly smarter way to do it. Bar end turn signals. These little wonders replace or integrate into the handlebar ends and light up a bright ring when you signal. Why does this matter? Because they're at the eye level of most drivers and right in their peripheral vision. It's much harder for someone to say they didn't see your signal when it's flashing bright amber right at the edge of the handlebar. And since car mirrors point at handlebar height, they catch that light even if the driver is half asleep. They look especially good on naked bikes, cafe racers, or anything where you want a clean look without the bulky stock signals. Mod number 7. Upgraded horn. Because the stock one sounds like a toy. If you've ever pressed your bike's horn in the middle of traffic and felt like you only made a ridiculous noise nobody heard, you already know what problem I'm talking about. Stock motorcycle horns are meant to be polite, and they're pathetic. Most sound like a toy car beeping from the bottom of a pool. You're on a machine capable of highway speeds, and your audible warning sounds like an injured duck asking for help. That's why switching to a decent horn is one of the smartest and cheapest modifications you can make, especially if you ride in traffic often. There are compact air horns like Denali or Stiebel that put out over 120 decibels, louder than most car horns and enough to snap a phone-gazing driver out of their stupor before they run you over. You don't even need to go to those extremes. Even a horn with a more powerful membrane but the same format can make a huge difference. And you don't need to mess with relays or new cables if you choose the right model. Mod number 6. Adjustable levers. Ergonomics tailored to your hands. This is one of those modifications so undervalued that it amazes me more people don't talk about them. Have you ever gotten on someone else's bike and the clutch lever felt a mile away from the grip, or the brake bit too early or too late for your taste? That happens because stock levers are designed for average hands, which, surprise, don't exist. Yet most never think about changing them. Enter adjustable levers. They let you adjust the distance and feel of both the clutch and front brake to suit your hands, your riding style, and even the gloves you're wearing. You can bring them closer or push them further away, change the engagement point, and make the controls respond better without having to strain your fingers around levers designed for giants or for kids. It's not just about comfort. Bad ergonomics cause fatigue, and fatigue causes mistakes, especially on long trips or in stop-and-go traffic. You'll notice how much smoother everything feels when your hands don't have to constantly stretch to reach the lever. These first mods are about safety and ergonomics, about things you can't see but will notice as soon as you try them. They are improvements that manufacturers should include as standard and yet almost no one knows about. From the fuse box that organizes your electrics to the levers that adapt to your hands, they're all small changes that make a difference. But the ones that follow are even more practical. Those little details that solve day-to-day problems, and that once you have them, you don't understand how you lived without them. Mod number 5. Fork preload adjusters. Suspension for your weight without shelling out a fortune. Adjusting suspension sounds intimidating to many riders. People think you have to spend a fortune on new suspension or take the bike to a race shop just to make it work well. But there's a middle ground, and it's called fork preload adjusters. These little knobs can completely change how your front end behaves, and most don't even know they exist. What they do is simple. They adjust the preload on your forks without you having to take anything apart. Preload is basically how much the suspension compresses when you sit on the bike. If you're too heavy or too light for the factory setting, the front end either dives excessively or feels like a brick. Preload adjusters let you compensate for your weight, your riding style, or even the luggage you're carrying. Most bikes come with non-adjustable forks unless you have something high-end, but there are screw-on adjusters that replace the fork caps, giving you a simple dial to add or remove preload. 5 minutes of installation, and suddenly your bike doesn't nosedive like a submarine every time you brake hard. It's incredible how much handling improves with just a small adjustment. Better cornering lines, more stable braking, and less fatigue from fighting the suspension all day. Mod number 4. Quick release buckle for your helmet. Goodbye double D ring hassle. Let's talk about one of the smallest modifications that will change your daily experience with the bike. A quick release buckle for your helmet strap. And look, I get it. Double D rings are the gold standard for a reason. They're strong, safe, and required in competition. But for the average rider not hitting the track every weekend, wrestling with D-rings at gas stations or with gloves on gets old fast. A quick release buckle is a one-click system to fasten and release your chin strap. You install it once, usually by threading your existing strap through the mechanism, and from then on you open and close the helmet with one hand in 2 seconds flat. Do no more threading the strap through 2 small rings in the dark, while your buddy is already half a mile down the road. And before the safety police jump in to criticize, there are plenty of DOT and ECE approved quick release systems out there. Some helmets even come with them stock in Europe and Asia, where they're more common. Good ones are made of high-quality metal or reinforced polymer and won't fail unless you buy a $2 Chinese imitation. Buy a recognized brand and you'll be fine. This is the kind of upgrade that doesn't seem like a big deal until you've used it for a week. Afterwards, you wonder why all helmets don't come with one. If comfort, safety, and practicality can come together in a $10 mod, it's a no-brainer. Mod number 3. One-way bleeder screws. Change fluid solo and without drama. Bleeding brakes is one of those tasks that sounds simple, but turns into a wrestling match against air bubbles and frustration. Either you have to drag someone away from their weekend to pump the lever while you open and close the bleeder, or you try the bottle and hose trick and pray air doesn't get back in. But if you have one-way bleeder screws, all that nonsense disappears. One-way bleeders are replacement bleed screws for your calipers that have a built-in check valve. That means when you open them and squeeze the brake lever, fluid comes out, and they automatically close when you release. with no air getting back in. You don't need a second person, and you don't have to race to close the screw in time. Open it, pump the lever a few times, and that's it. The fluid is changed and the brakes are bled without all the fuss. They're perfect if you like doing your own maintenance but hate the drama that comes with bleeding brakes. Some versions even come with a protective cap and thread sealant already applied. And they're cheap, less than $20 a pair in most cases. That's a bargain considering how often you should change brake fluid. Even if you only do it once a year, one-way bleeders pay for themselves with the convenience they give you. It's not the kind of mod that makes your bike faster or flashier, but it's one of those small improvements that lighten maintenance and let you ride more and tinker less. Mod number 2, hidden helmet lock. Never carry your helmet again. Every rider knows the awkward dance. You arrive somewhere, take off your helmet, and then wonder what the hell to do with it. Do you carry it around like a giant bowling ball? Do you leave it on the mirror hoping it won't fall? Or do you balance it on the seat like a helmet fakir? It's all a pain, and that's why a hidden helmet lock is such a smart modification. Most bikes have a helmet hook under the seat, but let's be honest, they're a joke. They're hard to reach, scratch your helmet strap, and are barely secure. A hidden helmet lock, usually mounted under the chassis near the license plate or integrated into crash bars, gives you a much better way to leave your helmet when you're out. Some versions are combination locks, others use a key, and a few even come with a retractable cable you can pass through the chin bar or the D-rings. The best part is it keeps the helmet off the ground, off the handlebars, and away from danger. And if someone wants to take it, they'll need to cut the lock or have some serious nerve. It's not a flashy modification. It's not something you show off at a night meet, but it solves a real problem in an elegant and permanent way. And once you have it, you use it every day without even thinking. You spend hundreds of dollars on a helmet. A $25 lock to keep it safe is just common sense. Mod number 1, hidden kill switch, the cheapest and most effective anti-theft device. And we arrive at number 1, one that I guarantee 90% of riders don't have, a hidden kill switch. It's a dirt cheap and very effective anti-theft modification that nobody talks about because it's not pretty and doesn't have a flashy name. But if you've ever parked in a sketchy spot or left your bike out all night, you'll appreciate the genius behind it. Basically, you wire a second hidden kill switch somewhere. It could be under the seat, inside a side panel, or any discreet place. Then, you flick it off when you park. Even if a thief bypasses the ignition or defeats the main key, the bike won't start unless they know where that hidden switch is and turn it back on. This little trick adds an extra layer of security without the hassle of a huge lock or the monthly cost of a GPS tracker. It's not infallible, of course, but it will stop opportunistic thieves cold. Most people who steal bikes are opportunists, not electrical engineers. They want a quick grab, not a puzzle. And the best part is it costs you about $10 and a bit of time to install. No subscriptions, no notifications, no flashy branding. Just you and a tiny silent switch that says, "Not today." You don't need to spend hundreds on high-tech security. Sometimes the smartest protection is the one nobody expects. There you have them. 10 secret modifications that aren't sexy, that don't make noise, and that won't get you likes on Instagram, but that will make your life on the bike much easier and safer. Now tell me in the comments, which of these modifications did you already know? Is there any other undervalued mod you use that nobody ever talks about? If this video gave you ideas for your next garage session, hit like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.